So we're here in Siop Shop with Johan, the owner of this establishment. We've got Shep, one of our Welsh players, coming down shortly to talk about his career, but also we've got St David's Day coming, which is exciting. First of all, just tell us about Siop Shop.
Shop was born out of a need to speak the language, really. And I thought, Welsh. Everything used to be in Welsh in the early days, and then now that the business has gone on, and I've gone on to try and grow the business. I'm not here so often, so we've calmed it down a bit so people don't get angry at the Americans that work here.
In terms of Siop Shop, that's just shop. Is that right?
Yeah. The SI in Welsh makes a shut noise. Shut noise.
Yeah.
And the name is based off a garage. Well, a lot more than just a garage. But there's a garage on the 8470, the white hut just outside Dolgellau, and the name is based off. There's a big sign of that garage, and it just says shop in Helvetica.
Yeah.
And that was the basis of the name, basically.
Because there's a place in North Wales that I visit quite a bit, Criccieth, and their chip shop was just called Siop Chip. And it had this wooden sign, and the chip shop went, and I was driving through the town, and the sign had fallen off and been thinking, and it was in a skip. So I jumped in the skip and got it, and it's now in my back garden.
Well, yeah.
So I've got Siop Chip sign in the back of my garden.
Well, this petrol station's closing down, and I'm hoping to get the sign, but they're still, just wood.
It's in the middle of the night, it's got the screwdrivers, you'd be good.
Yeah.
Obviously, the reason we're kind of focusing on this is St David's Day's coming. We've got it's quite a big Welsh community actually in the northwest areas in Salford and stuff like that. We've got our Welsh international players and whatnot. But tell me a little bit more about St David's Day and kind of what kind of the phrases I might need to know, or any kind of cultural things that I might be missing.
So on St David's Day, Dydd Gwyl Dewi. The kids rock up to school in traditional outfits, like there's a traditional Welsh ladies outfit, and then the boys dress up as miners, really. And then everybody carries a leek, and I'm not joking. Right. People carry leeks and daffodils, and it's good that daffodils come up at that time.
So you might be able to tell me this, because I don't know if it was just folklore, my mum spinning me a yarn or anything about the leeks, which was there was a civil war, but everyone turned up and they were wearing the same outfits because it was a civil war, so no one knew who was fighting who. Yeah. So one side decided that they'd all put a leek in their helmets, and that's how it came about. Now,
is that for real?
I was brought up being told that. Now we could Google it and check, but that's literally what I've always understood.
Yeah, I've never known what the actual affinity to the Cennin Pedr is, but like the leek. I mean, if you turn it around, maybe it's quite a good blunt weapon.
Better than eating it. So what's the kind of, I think you know when we spoke before, you mentioned about kind of mantra about what St David's Day is about. And there's a really beautiful phrase.
Yeah, Gnewch y pethau bychan, do the small things.
Right, talk me through that slowly, quickly. Gnewch
y pethau bychan. Pethau stuff.
Yeah.
Bychan small.
Bychan.
Yeah.
I've not hit that level on June.
I know. And I think it's a good lesson for all, hopefully you do the small things and they accumulate to big things is what Dewi was saying, St David's. You'd hope that was the truth.
And do small things on the football pitch and win games as well, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah.
But cheers, thanks for hosting us down here, really appreciate it. Hope everything goes well and have a good St David's Day.
Thank you, that's really nice of you.
Diolch yn fawr. So we're here in Siop Shop, which is a Welsh cafe in the Northern Quarter. Catching up with you, Shep. Now, a couple of years ago, I don't know if you remember this, we put a post out on Instagram just wishing a general kind of Happy St David's Day post, and you responded in private comments saying, why aren't you tagging the Welsh boys in this? And I thought he took it quite personally that we hadn't gone big on it, so roll a bit forward. St David's Day is coming up. I thought we'd touch base with yourself as I can't say the most famous Welshman in Salford. There's somebody else that might just pick me to that, but certainly a fan's favourite from Wales that plays for Salford City. So I thought we'd touch base with yourself and enjoy some coffee in Siop Shop. So we're getting towards the end of the season. How's it going? What do you reckon?
It's so close, isn't it? It's what is it? 1 point outside the playoffs right now. Obviously, like, we want automatics regardless. Like, we don't want to. I do not want the playoffs just because, like, I've done it 4 times or 3 times.
So in those playoff times, how many times have you been successful? Has it been? Have you?
None.
It's a sore point, isn't it?
So I lost in the semis 3 times, I think it is.
Ouch.
And lost in the final once.
Yeah. Well, that's that thing is, of a fan. Fans sit there, don't they, and they go, "Oh, there's no better way to go up. You know, if you can guarantee that, you know, you go up and that, I'd rather go playoff, you know, winners than going up through the league." As a player, is that meant to be the same thing?
I think we have a bit of banter about it, but the best person to ask is Cole Stockton. Because he beat me in the final. So, like, everything the lead up to it now was fantastic, but it was the hottest day ever. Like, you couldn't breathe. And then obviously that could have been switched on his head, like, and been the best day of my life. And you could have been laughing and joking about, like, the heat and everything. But because of the accumulation of the loss, and then the heat was horrendous. Like, people don't realise that it was awful.
It's all about the heat, wasn't it?
Like, we walked out and, like, you had the flames coming up on the side. And I'm like, you don't need that. It's 35 degrees. Like, it was roasting, and that was the first thing. The whistle went, and my mouth was just dry, and I couldn't breathe.
Do you think that because you're, like, obviously you were with Newport County and from South Wales at that point, the heat was a disadvantage to your squad?
To be honest, right, the most leading up to the game, I was so excited to walk out with Newport because I knew it was going to be the Welsh national anthem played for us. If I go there with any other club that's not in Wales, then it's going to be the English one.
So, obviously Newport County Welsh team, but you started your career with another Welsh team, Swansea.
Yeah.
In terms of it, like the setup of Welsh football is quite interesting because you've got these clubs that are in England and stuff like that. So, when you're a part of a team, do you feel like more of the country's behind you? Do you get what I mean in terms of it? So, like, if you play for Newport in that kind of thing, you're representing Wales more, and then therefore when you're playing for Swansea, it's that kind of, you've got more people behind you?
Yeah, probably would. I think it's to do with we don't have many teams, like in the English league. So you've got the Newport area. It's just Newport. Like, then you've got half hour, 20 minutes down the road is Cardiff, which is Championship, and then nearly just under an hour is Swansea, and then other than that, everywhere else is just Welsh League. And I think because we've got just that area, you have your own fans, and you could have, I don't know how many thousand fans live in that area. So yeah, I suppose. I think with Welsh people, what I find is we're very patriotic. So, like, when I was at Swansea growing up, fans were, like, incredible. I used to love going and watching the first team playing the game all the time because they were on point every single time. And I found that the same, especially when, obviously with Newport it was a bit different, but every time I played at Newport, because obviously when I was there it was COVID, so we had no fans. But when I used to play there at Rodney Parade, it was, like, so loud. Like, you just knew that you were always on the back foot regardless as soon as you start. And I think that's to do with how passionate Welsh people are, because even in the Euros, that was probably the best time, like, of our lives, like, together. It was weird. It was like everyone was at the bar, pubs, but everyone was singing the songs. It was just we'd never had that before in Wales football.
Mentality, I suppose, that comes from like a diverse area in terms of villages that are apart from it, and that fierce identity that comes with it. So, like, my mum's Welsh, but I've been brought up in Salford, kind of thing. But even that, I've been brought up with that patriotic, fierce pride of the Welsh and the Welsh language and stuff like that. And even watching the Six Nations when the national anthem comes on, I get quite emotional in terms of it. And then I got told once, a guy that I knew that lived in a village in North Wales, And he said the best bit about Christmas was in the evening, all the blokes in the town would go on a pub crawl, but they'd sing in each pub. But it would be like, and he said it was just the best thing ever in that kind of the atmosphere and a country of song as such, and it's like proper emotion in terms of it. In terms of your early education at Swansea, how did that play out in terms of what was it like there? Were they in the Premiership at the time?
So I first started off at Cardiff City. I went to Cardiff when I was 8 till 16. I got released. I had a few clubs which were better clubs, I'd say, but the distance was too far for my parents to take me, and the only other option that was close at that time was Swansea. So I went on trial at Swansea, and well, I loved it straight away, to be honest. And yeah, I think if I remember rightly, I trained once with the 16s, then I went into the youth team, the training session after, and I think within 2 weeks I signed my apprenticeship at the time, and I signed, I think it was like 50 quid a week, my apprenticeship at the time, which was quite normal, or maybe 70 quid, I think that the year before was like 50 quid. And when I signed, the end of that season, so I think I signed like February, March or whatever, I can't remember exactly, and then the end of that season, Swansea went up to the Premier League in the playoffs. So I was always been in the Premiership with Swansea, and it just snowballed from there. Like, I was very lucky. In my first year, I got called up to the Swansea first team to train, and I was only due to injuries from like the second year scholars were injured, defenders, and then I was the next on the list, and I went up, and Brendan loved me, and I was pretty much there for like quite a lot, and yeah, I just went from there. Like, it was there, because obviously it's a really exciting time for the club and the area at that point, but when you get to the Premiership, you're mixing it with the big boys and stuff like that. Was there any people that you came across or worked with at the club or stuff like that really opened your eyes and kind of how to succeed in football and take it to another level? I wouldn't say so as much as like in terms of individuals. I feel like there were certain individuals that made sure Swansea felt like a team and felt like family, and I think that was really important looking back now, due to like the success we had. Like, I swear to say we, I'm not one of them, but like the first team boys.
Is it on yours in Wikipedia? Have you snuck it on?
No. I've only played once for them. I'll just drop that in, but I want to forget that game. But yeah, it was like big leaders in that group, and Brendan Rodgers was brilliant. Like, it was. I always remember when I first trained with them. When you're younger, you get a bit like shy, starstruck and stuff. But every time it came to football, once I was on that pitch and stuff, I would just be myself. And we finished, and I was obviously going to have a shower and stuff. And like Brendan was in there as well, and like me and my other mate was there, and we were like, oh shit. Excuse the language, but I was like, the manager's there, like, don't want to say nothing, try and avoid him. And we walked past him, make sure he didn't see us. But then he came round, and the showers are like shade, and we used to train in like the Virgin Gym or something like that. It was at Swansea at the time, and he just started talking to us. He'd absolutely like a legend to us. But like he was treating us like we were the first team players. And it went such a long way, like with me. Like from then on, I had so much respect for him, because like I've been there now, and I see people will ignore players or youngsters coming through. Like, you know what I mean? It's just being nice and just telling us like his little tricks on nights out, the way he put his aftershave and why he would do that, and he was brilliant. Like I really liked him. And then a few years later, I was on the bench against Liverpool, and he came up to me and he was like, I didn't think he'd recognise me. I'd obviously grown up maybe 2 or 3 years later, and he was like, oh, I'm following your career now, you're doing really well. And I just had so much respect for him. Like, it was mad.
So we've got to be careful that Snoutley don't come sniffing, is that what you're saying?
No. Past my time now.
In terms of it, obviously, we've seen what Brendan's doing right now at Celtic in the Champions League and stuff like that. Great character in the game. Got to kind of fast forward to now, and there's another character in the game who is a Welsh icon. What's it like turning up to training with Ryan Giggs knocking about.
But I say this to a lot of people, like, at first, yeah, you know, it's like, you know, you meet them and it's just normal. But I got starstruck when I was going back to the Swansea days. When we were in the youth team, the day before the game, we had to set the changing room up, make sure everything was spotless, put everything out, and then the next day we would be on duty. So like we'd have to put all the washing in the kit, clean their boots, whatever the first team players needed. So like we used to get in a bit earlier and we used to watch the players coming in. And like I was a Manchester United fan as well. Like by me, it's either United, Liverpool, Cardiff, or Swansea. You have two, and Manchester United was my team, and they're all walking in. You got Sir Alex Ferguson, Wayne Rooney. I think Ryan Giggs was actually there at the time, and I was just like starstruck. I was just like, oh my god! And then I played the Resis after that, and then I've never been starstruck since. So like,
so you played super cool there.
Yeah, it was. No, it's just like they're just normal people. They're not. No one's bigger than anyone. It's strange, and yeah, I find it mad. Like the boys will send photos of like, Giggsy's on the bench, and there's a photo of me and Giggsy walking off, and someone's taken and sent it to him, and I'm like, it's just normal.
You've printed it off, and it's on the back of your bathroom door.
Yeah. When I retire. What's that? But I grew up watching him. It's crazy.
Well, that's it. It's like I was like, even though I say brought up in England and stuff like that, my mum was really passionate about following Wales and stuff like that. I wasn't a United fan growing up, so for me, getting involved with the class of '92, it's like great in terms of the brilliant footballers. But the one that got me was Ryan Giggs. You know, it's the eras. They used to go to when I think the Millennium Stadium was being built, and they played a few games at Anfield and stuff like that. I was watching. It was a dark period of Welsh football, actually. We lost 2-0 to Italy. I think Kit Simons might have tripped over the ball on the edge of the box or something like that. It was an absolute disaster. But what you mentioned there in terms of it, like you're working at Swansea in terms of helping out on a match day, and the players are coming in and you're starstruck. How does it feel, and like does it cross your mind in terms of it, and is the responsibility? It's a heavily loaded question, but at Salford we have that kind of family atmosphere and it's quite accessible and stuff like that, and you guys as players come in on a match day and there are those kids that are looking at you guys like starstruck and stuff like that. Does that play on your mind or anything, or does it make you proud? I don't know.
I find it weird. Like I do, because like I said, I'm just a normal person. I'm not better than anyone else. Like everyone's just the same, just a human being. I'm just privileged to be in the position I'm at, doing something I love every day. On match day, I'm just focused. I'd rather just like be in the zone, chilled. But then after the game, I'll have time to speak to people, sign stuff. I got no issue, because they are there to come and watch you, and that's what we get paid for, to entertain them. So yeah, you have to give your time to the fans, because obviously they're the most important people at the club, at every club, to be honest. Without the fans,
because you said like Swansea did it really well in terms of representing their community, and that's something that Salford we really try hard to do. Because obviously we're in the shadow of two massive football clubs, so it's like really important to because they're Liverpool, Everton, just down the road. So it's like we've got a responsibility to be there and stuff like that. Having seen the successes at Swansea, how important do you think it actually is for clubs to connect with their community?
Oh, definitely it is. Like, you've seen it when COVID happened. Like, the football matches just wasn't the same.
I was at that FA Cup game, though, that you talked about. It was a bad day for everyone, though.
Not for me. It was good for me. Like, but like, it just felt like a training session. Like, and you just knew how important the fans were. And, like, I could be a role model to someone. Like, I just try to be the best player I can be, and if people think that's the best way to lead, like I hope other people do follow that. And it's always nice. Like, there's always a fan there every week. I haven't seen her for a while, but she's there asking photos every week, and you never say no. You do that, and if I make them happy for a split second, then it's a success, really, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's obviously, you've mentioned there's Forest Green as well, and Swansea and Salford, and representing different communities. I think one thing that we kind of, as football fans, take for granted is a player goes to a club, goes to another club, goes to that, and when they're there, we're invested and stuff like that. And we see them on the pitch, and that's great. But it's quite a tough thing to do, surely, in terms of moving around and also like setting up home in a different location, stuff like that. So I know that in terms of moving from another country, from Newport to Salford, it's not necessarily the other way across the world. But what kind of things go on that we don't see as fans that, you know, might be challenges and stuff like that for a football player?
Well, you say it's not across the world, but it's quicker for me to get to Spain than it is for me to get home back to Wales. Like, it takes me 3.5 hours on a good day. It's difficult because my wife's in the house, my dogs, my kids really, they're in the house. I see her maybe once, twice a month if I'm lucky. It's hard, but the thing is, she got her own business as well, where in football, I signed a 2-year deal, but like in that 2 years, I could leave in my first year. Like, you don't know what's going to happen in football. It's not a secure environment. So we've come to an agreement that the time I still play football until I retire, then she can stay home with her business because that's secure. She's got that to fall on, and we just try and make as much effort as we can to see each other. The biggest downside as well is I don't get to see my friends. Like, I struggle to see my family when I'm home because I always try to spend as much time as I can with my wife and my dogs. And so, yeah, that is hard, and especially when you're injured. It's a lonely place. It's a very lonely place. Which, talking about it with the therapist, which I'm massive for, I say to the boys now, like, when the boys were injured, I say to them, speak to someone. Like, I never thought I needed the help. I kind of went there, like, just to see why I was feeling this way and trying to get a better understanding. And I speak to her every week, maybe once, twice a week. Anything that goes wrong, I ring her, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I think change as well from it. It's made me relax.
I think it was maybe 2 or 3 years back now, but I was having a tough time myself behind the scenes, and you sent me a message speculatively because I hadn't been around for a couple of weeks. And they was just saying, just checking in that you're all right. And I think that those touches, you know, like, you know, it's really nice and looking out for each other. As a team and a family and stuff like that, it's really important.
It goes a long way for people, doesn't it? You know, it's just a simple text, just to see how someone is. And like I said, if I can make that person feel wanted for that second of just reading their phone, then I'm happy with it. That's all you want to do. But like, I know a lot of the boys have followed up on what I've said, and they've actually gone and spoke to someone. Because it's not easy. It isn't. Like, injuries, it's part of the game, and unfortunately I've suffered it the last 2.5 seasons. I've had a good run this season with 3 months. But yeah, it's just part and parcel of it. And
I think that's that thing in it, is that even from a perspective of not playing on the football pitch, I know how lucky I am to be involved in a sport that I love. But looking from the outside, it is all glitz and glamour and that kind of stuff. And the thing that I've learned as I get older is that as I get older, players at the squad are getting younger. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just drifting away from it and stuff like that. And, you know, you have got these young players that are, you know, moving around the country, setting themselves up and stuff like that. It's not all specific to Ireland. It's not, you know, Premiership wages and stuff like that. And there's real people that are involved in it and stuff like that. So it's
but this is what people don't understand is like, people think you're a professional footballer, you're going to be driving around in a Lamborghini every week. You're not. Like, those wages are Premier League, maybe top of Championship. League One, if you're lucky to get a good club with big budget, you may get a deal, especially if you're a striker. They're obviously all in the more money. When it comes to League Two, like, I know mates that are probably better off than me with money they're earning back home. I'm playing football part-time. Obviously, I rent up here, and I have to pay a mortgage back home as well. So, like, I don't save anything really. I'm not benefiting at all. It's just a good job. I love doing what I'm doing, and the reason why I love being at this club is because the backroom staff, like further up, they're all ambitious, and it meets my ambition. I always want to get promoted. I always want to go as far as I can and push myself to the limits, and that's why I love being at this club. And hopefully, then at the end of the day, you get rewarded for it.
So, in terms of wanting to push yourself and develop, you still got your eyes on that international cap?
I'd love to. I just need Ryan to get in now, don't I? You can just give him a call. You know? I'd love to get that cap. You know, I'm 30 now. for some reason, age matters in football. I don't know why. Like, because I don't think that they look fit when I play.
Do you not think that's getting a little? I know, I think there's contract issues in the Premiership and stuff like that, and it's they talk about over the age of 30 not giving them big deals and stuff like that. But with players now, like seeing what Ronaldo's doing at his age and stuff like that, is the perception not changing?
I'd like to think so, but it's just something in football that as soon as you hit that 30 mark, it goes downhill. Like, it doesn't. You become such a big, experienced player. You become better, and as long as your body can do it, which I know my body can, as long as I stay injury-free, like, when it comes to games, I'm hitting like one of the highest stats in every game. Like, so it's showing that we can do it, and we can still compete with these 25-year-olds and 22-year-olds. And little Kelly and my
next World Cup. The next World Cup, I'll be having my Wales Shephard shirt on cheering you on. In terms of internationals, to finish off, I'm going to do a quick blind ranking of 10 Welsh players.
Yep.
You know how it works. You tell me where you think they go. You might get
hope I remember them.
So I've got a little list here. We had a little practice in the office. Caught a couple of people out already.
Well, some of the players I'm not really going to remember, I think.
Right, so we'll just start easy. Ryan Giggs.
I'm going to have to put him second.
Okay then. Right, so next one. Gareth Bale.
He's going to have to go number one for me. Just because of what he did. He took us to the Euros. And that's the only thing he has over Ryan being in Wales. That's all I'd say.
When his international time came, which was inevitable at that stage, did your heart sink as much as mine? It's just like, it's not going to be as good as this again, is it?
What do you mean now?
When Bale retired football,
well, you look at it, you had Ashley Williams left, like Neil Taylor was gone, James Chester, he wasn't in the squads. Like, the players we had then was like Joe Ledley. I played with him as well. It's just, we got a lot of youngsters coming through, and unfortunately we haven't done it yet.
So always next year. Craig Bellamy.
Yeah,
you need to go high if you want that cap.
Yeah, I'll go third. I was thinking of the other players around, but
Right, going retro here. Vintage. John Charles.
I don't know. Like, how old is he?
He 150 games for Juventus, 108 goals.
Yeah,
but in the 1950s.
This is the thing. He could be top, but I've never seen him play. Trying to think who else we got on the list before I rank him. Go on, put him fourth.
Ian Rush.
There's actually some good players. Some good players. I didn't watch him play either. I'm gonna put him seventh. Oof.
My hero growing up, Dean Saunders.
Never watched him play. Never seen any clips. You have to put him 10th.
Right. Big Nev Southall.
9th. Can't remember what we got left now.
Aaron Ramsey.
What we got left? Numbers we got left.
You got 5, 6, and 8.
Yeah, you go fifth.
Mark Hughes.
Oh! Yeah, he's caught me out there. Wow.
So you got 6 and 8 left.
6.
Final one. Tom King.
He has to
go 8.
Yeah, he has to go 8.
So
put him first.
So
King.
Just on record that you've ranked Tom King as better than Neville Southall.
Yeah.
And if we've learned nothing else today, that is one goal.
I think Kingy will take that. Kingy will take that. I think
he'll be gutted he's not higher, to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
Well, cheers so much. Catching up with us. Yeah. Hope you have a good St David's Day. Got any plans for it? Just winning it. Winning against Bradford.
What day is it? It's on Saturday.
It's on Saturday.
Yeah, so
just
we'd always work anyway. We can't do nothing. So
cheers.
Hope we win.
Diolch yn fawr.
Diolch yn fawr.